Jack is fighting you?
Yeah, it's done.
Bad Jack! Bad! What are you doing anyways?
I'm putting it as high as possible so we can go underneath.
Oh, so we are to a point where we are working underneath the car? Oh, nice. Okay. Well, hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Miata 1994 Miata restoration here in the Rusty Beauty's garage with Nick and myself. And like Nick said already, we are jacking up the car. We're gonna put it on 4 jack stands, and then Nick is gonna go underneath and he's gonna start doing what he did in the last few episodes with all the wheel wells, which means he's gonna clean it up. He's gonna find if there's anything that needs to be welded underneath, which we don't expect to find anything serious, just a little bit here under the rockers where we know that we left things to be welded later. So the idea is to take care of the whole underside of the car, clean it nicely, paint it wherever we can with truck bed liner to protect it from future rust, and then we're gonna start dealing with suspension, a corner by corner. Maybe as it is on the jack stands, we're gonna replace that brake line, or we're gonna inspect all the brake lines too, but we definitely know that we need to replace one. That's how we bought the car. That brake line was snapped, so there's no rear brakes at all on the car. Anyway, that's the idea. We reached a point where Nick doesn't need me too much on the car. I mean, the metal fabrication so far was kind of complicated, so I did a lot of work on the car and he helped me. But now the roles are gonna switch because I am busy with my work. This is my bread and butter here, my customers' cars, and I can't afford spending way too much time on his car when he actually can do it himself. So he is, you wanna tell a little bit more about your school?
Oh yeah, I have an auto class. And
He's doing actually learning about cars in school as well. So now he can practice on his own car. Of course, I'm gonna be here at all times. I'm gonna be helping him with whatever I can, but he's gonna be doing most of the work on his own now while I'm working on my customers' cars, and hopefully that's gonna give me also possibility to one day do a little bit of work on my own car so I don't feel so bad about it. Anyways, we're gonna be giving you updates every once in a while what's going on, and yeah, stay tuned. Have you seen it from underneath before?
not fully like this. Like only from the side.
Okay, so how is it going?
Oh, were you recording me?
A little bit.
It's going good. It's just I keep getting stuck with the face shield.
It's a dirty job, I'm sorry. Okay, Nick went inside to have lunch, so let's go and spy on his work. I haven't been under there at all today, so let's go see what it looks like and what he's done so far. So he started somewhere from the front, and yeah, well, this rail is still damaged here. This is the one that we replaced from here in that direction. This is still damaged here, but it is what it is. I told him flakes like that to remove, so he hasn't removed them. Hasn't removed everything. But if the protective coating is stuck pretty well there, I told him to leave it on. So anyway, he says that there's nothing that we have to weld. He didn't see anything that we need to weld. Do you see anything that we need to weld? Because I do. We need to weld here I think, even though this is actually a separate piece, you're right, but I think we're gonna weld this here because it goes into the fender, into the wheel well, and it is a separate piece, but I think we're gonna weld it here. Definitely we're gonna rust convert it before we paint it, but I think we're gonna weld this. I don't know. Here we need to weld a little bit. That's a piece that we welded in place. This is what he's cleaning here. Okay. We need to mount these brackets again to our new rail here that we made. The one from here, I think I have somewhere in the car. He's been cleaning here the carriage. Okay, so there's not much. I don't know why he's wasting so much time, but it actually looks better than I expected. This is the new filter that we installed here. The newest part of the car. Okay, well, he should be done by the end of the day. There's a huge exhaust leak somewhere, and I don't know where. Oh, wow. I see. Okay, that's a problem. I don't know with these pipes where they go. Oh my god. That's a serious problem. How are we gonna change that? It's all welded everywhere. Ugh. Great. And I don't remember where, but I saw one of the brake lines was smashed somewhere. Was it here? Oops. I don't remember where. I'm afraid we might need to change all brake lines. You see what they look like? I think we'd rather do that tomorrow maybe. Anyway, we will see. That's what it looks like. Just wanted to give you an idea. All right, so we are back. Hi, Nick. Hi. I think we have a video that we started a long time ago. The last time we worked on this car was like probably a month and a half ago. We have some footage that is going to be the beginning of this video. Anyways, we decided to go and fix the rear brakes on this car because the front brakes work, the rear brakes, the brake line from this three-way splitter here, that's the brake line, we already undid it, and it goes right there. But you see where it ends. It was rotten right there, and it split with the other one. That's how we bought the car. So we just went underneath and we investigated where the other end of this brake line is, and unfortunately the way it was designed is from here under the car, comes up here on this side, and then it goes across the firewall and right into that pressure differential warning unit it is, I guess. So unfortunately it is one long piece from here all the way down. So everywhere else it is loosened now and it is dangling. The only thing that's holding it now is the fitting here, but we're gonna make a new line, but we're gonna have to reuse those fittings. It is 10 millimeters, but it is pretty tight here. I mean, it requires a lot of force, but the wrench is a little bit loose on the fitting and we don't want to damage it. So that's why, since we're remaking this line, we're just gonna cut it here so we can use this end of the wrench or a socket. How we're gonna take it out, I don't know, because it's such a long line, but we will see. If we can't take it out in one piece, we're gonna make it in two small pieces, in two halves, and we're gonna use a union in the middle. I think one union is allowed for safety. We have one on the TR6s, right? We have right in the middle of the brake line underneath because it's the same situation. If it is a too long line, it can't be done. So yeah, we're gonna see if we are able to take it out in one piece and put it back in one piece or not. Okay, it's another day. The last week we actually were able to do only like half an hour of work on the car before we needed to go somewhere. So now this week we are committed though to finish what we started last week. And we were actually able to take out the brake line. This was the area where it was corroded anyway. This is where it was leaking from. Even here it is corroded, and that made me look at the other one that connects the two rear wheels, and it looks like it is as bad as this one. So this is the line. So let me show you even further. And then on the other side, look at this. It's a disaster. So we're gonna replace this one as well. I couldn't take this bolt out. It's so corroded, no wrench fits on it. Like 11 millimeters is too small, 12 is too big. I tried even 7/16, like standard wrenches, that doesn't fit. But the line goes from here and right behind here, and I was able to take it out by snapping it, which means I'm not gonna be able to put it back on, and I'm gonna try to make it in one piece. I think we can make this line in one piece for the simple reason that we're gonna use copper nickel line, which is very easy to bend by fingers. So we're gonna leave the rear end straight and we're gonna bend it in place. Like we're gonna fish it through here and then we're gonna just bend it the way we want. The front end we can bend. That was also not very easy to take it out from here. We had to remove multiple other lines from their places, but I think it's gonna be possible. It's doable to pre-bend it, the front end as this one, and shove it in. We're gonna pre-bend our new line, the front end, the rear end we're gonna leave like that. We're gonna try to estimate how long this piece is. I'll show you how we're gonna measure the length of this piece without unbending it, and it should be pretty precise. This is the line that we're gonna use. So this is metric line, 4.75 millimeters, but it is exactly the same as 3/16 standard line. 3/16 measures exactly 4.75 millimeters too. And also my flaring tool uses the same die for 4.75 millimeters and 3/16 inches, so they are the same line. So the fitting from here, from the pressure differential unit, we put closed like a box wrench around it, and that undid it. So now we have to cut this and push it this way, and we can reuse the fitting. So that's the end of the line. So we have to make sure that we do the same flare, because there's two types of flares. One is called bubble flare, the other one is called double flare. Well, there's many other flares, but the most common ones are the bubble and double, and you see them in the same vehicle, at least in Triumphs. I don't know in the Mazda, but at least in Triumphs you have both. On some lines you have bubbles, on some lines you have doubles. So here we need double flare. Brand new. It's okay to reuse fittings because the fitting is actually not what seals. What seals is the flare. The fitting only pushes the flare towards whatever other part you're bolting it to. Okay, so we're gonna start flaring now, and I know that I showed this tool recently in one of my Triumph videos, but if you've seen it already, don't be annoyed, because there's people who are here to watch only Miata videos, and I'll explain it for them as well. So this tool makes the flare very easy. We have different dies here, sets of dies for different sizes and different flares. The one that I use the most, and the one that is for this car as well, is this one. So you see it says 475 millimeters and 3/16. So it's for both. The two halves have these aligning nipples, so you can't put them this way because one side is for one type of flare, the other side is for another type of flare. So we need this one that is flared here. This is where the flare happens. So we put the dice here in the right orientation, like that. Let's put the line inside. Can you bring the... I know this is the first side, so we can still put fittings on the line after, but it's a good practice to remember that always put the fitting before you do the flare, right? So we're gonna put the fitting and we're gonna put the line inside, and we're gonna let it stick a little bit out, and we're gonna just snug it very gently, not too tight for now. Then here we have different dies on this side. They are for different sizes. The ones that we are interested in are for 3/16, of course, which is this one right here. I don't know if you can read it, but it says 3/16. And this one, this is 3/16. For every size we have two dies. One is to make the bubble flare, and the other one is to turn the bubble flare into a double flare. We call them Operation 1 and Operation 2. Operation 1 makes the bubble flare, and Operation 2 turns the bubble into a double. And before that, for every different size and flare, you have also an alignment die here, which is a flat die, and we call it Operation 0 because it's valid for all the other flares. For that, I'm gonna have to pull you back a little. So Operation 0 aligns everything. So what we do, we remember this is really gently tight here. So now we can push with the flat die, which aligns the line with the dies, but also pushes the dies back to their shoulder here. So now we can tighten it completely. And for this particular line, for copper nickel, we don't need to tighten it too much because it is pretty soft line. For stainless steel and for steel, you need to make sure that you tighten it a lot. So now that everything is aligned, we can do Operation 1, which is this. So we just go until the end, and that's it. Now, normally if you want a double flare like we want here, you just go to the second operation and you do that as well. But I'm just gonna take it out for a second so I can show you what we've done so far. We've done a bubble flare, which is this. So this is actually the male part of the connection. You put a bubble with a double, and that is the seal. But we want a double flare now, so we're gonna turn this into a double by, again, we have to make sure that we put it the right way. Now, of course, it's not aligned, so again, I'm gonna tighten it gently and I'm gonna push with the Operation 1. So now it's aligned again. Now I can tighten it, turn my Operation 2 for 3/16, and go again. And now we can take it out and it's ready. See, we have a double flare. So that goes against another thing that is a bubble. And that presses it against it. Okay, so we've done one side. Now we have to bend the line to the proper shape and measure exactly how long we want it to be, and then we're gonna put the other fitting on the other side. Now, because this is a pretty long line, we're gonna work on the floor. So it's not a great option, but we don't have much room inside the garage. So we're gonna start copying this bend, and I'm gonna just make this bend first by hand. It's tricky. Can you take a piece of tape and tape them together?
Yeah, on the corner.
Tight. So that's gonna hold them together here, and now we can make the next bend. Like I said, this line is soft, so you can do it with your fingers, but good luck doing that with steel line.
We're only doing it till it goes around the engine because then after that, we're gonna do it from underneath.
Yeah, as well. So we're just gonna keep taping it in every other foot maybe. I don't know how accurate these bends are because it's possible that we bent it here and there when we took it out. But it's, again, it's a soft line, easy to correct on the spot.
Are these ones also, like, what are these made of? The original ones?
Steel, that's why they last. Okay, and now we have to find our other piece and measure how long it is, and we're gonna add this much length to this line and we're gonna tap it. So we're just gonna tape a piece of string and we're gonna measure it with that. So we need to add a little bit because oh, we just cut the flare from here, right? To remove this fitting we only cut the flare, so it is literally a millimeter of length we lost here. That's how we are measuring it accurate, because if you take a tape measure, it's gonna be tricky, it's gonna trick you. It's not so critical because we can take a shortcut on some turn or something, but anyway, so there you go. This is our length, this is how much we wanna add. So we're gonna take these two and we're gonna go and cut it. Cut it. Good. And now, before we forget, put the fitting, and now we can do the flare here as well. Okay, so Nick is gonna do this one. Make sure the nipples align. Okay.
Okay.
Now this. Turn right. Okay, enough. Now you need to align it. Use the Operation Zero tool. You need to push with it.
Is it in
Pull
place?
the handle, that's it. Okay, now everything is aligned. Now you can tighten all the way before you forget. The first time you leave it loose so it cannot be aligned. Once it's aligned, you tighten it. Okay.
So now I have it to 3/16. So.
Yeah, Operation 1. So pull.
Oh.
All the way. Okay. Let me see because I'm not sure. Yeah, that was okay.
Does it look good?
No. Now you don't loosen it. You go straight to Operation 2. I loosened it last time just to show.
Oh.
But you don't need to show.
Okay.
So.
I just wanted to check it because I don't know
You don't
if
need
I
to.
did that good.
In the worst case scenario, okay. In the worst case scenario, we just cut it off and make another one, and it's gonna be like a few millimeters shorter.
So now I can loosen this?
Yeah. Let's see what you've done. Good job. Here's your first flare. Okay, that was actually easier than expected. So this is our new line. It's so dirty now. Here it's fine, but underneath it looks super dirty. But anyway, so it follows the previous shape. goes down from here, then it comes down from there. This is our line here. We still have to fasten all the lines where they belong, like these things, and they were held with some metal that was held to these rails here, but these rails were very corroded on this car and we replaced them. So now we need to make something that holds this. Let me zoom out. Yeah, that holds this up. So hold on. Like this. And we have one more here, it's inside the car, and then we have two more in the back. And then here it goes up. This I just fished as a straight line and then I bent it in place. So it goes up there and then it comes out on this side and it goes into the three-way union here. So we're done with this. I'm gonna start finishing the engine bay because now we have to bolt on back all the lines that we unhooked. And in the meantime, Nick is gonna start unbolting now this line from here and the other end close to the other wheel, and he's gonna make the new line on his own, right?
I'm itchy now.
You're itchy?
There's
Yeah.
also mosquitoes in the shop.
I know. Okay, so he had to take both ends out for the same reason, because it is the fitting. Wow, you got it. Killer. So yeah, it was a good idea to replace it because here it was about to snap too. And here close to this fitting it was bad. This was kind of okay. But anyway, so it's out. And Nick is now gonna follow my steps and make this line himself. Okay. In the meantime, I put the engine bay together. All the lines that I unhooked are hooked back, and it looks okay. Like it's it's not the best engine bay in the world, but it is what it is. It's gonna be a driver car. It's not a show car. So. Oh. Always make sure that your flare is good.
Is it?
Yeah? You're gonna know if it is not good, you're gonna see it. Okay, so now use the other one as a template, bend this one, and when you know exactly where to cut it, you cut it, and you put the other fitting. Are you ready? Why not? Don't you have flares on both sides? So why are you not ready? You didn't put the fitting gun? Where is your fitting? Rookie's mistake. Don't worry, I've done that multiple times. Okay, just cut the end off and do it again. You have more than enough room for adjustment. No, you don't cut brake lines that you're gonna use with that. We cut the ones that we don't use. Alright, so that's what he did. The line is inside, clipped with the clips. One more here, and then it goes into the three-way splitter right here. So the rear brakes are done. Good job. The rear brakes are done. Now we're gonna bleed them. The front brakes, I don't think we should touch them. I checked them already, so this is the line. You see that goes out of there. It is in a good shape here in the engine bay. I followed it down and there it's in a good shape. Let's go together. This is the line here in a very good shape. And there's another one on the other side. So we have two separate lines coming from the master cylinder. And this is the other line here. It is in a good shape. So I don't think we should touch those. All right, so we took the bleeders out and we cleaned them and we put them back on to make sure that we can bleed the brakes properly. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill up the master cylinder. Actually, I don't know how it works here. Is it divided in two for the two front and rear brakes? Yeah. Oh wow, actually, you know what we're gonna do first? We're gonna suck this out a little bit because it is pretty dirty there. And we're gonna, by the way, we're gonna do the same with the front brakes. We're gonna flush them. So we're gonna clean as much as we can here now the master cylinder, the reservoir. Then we're gonna fill it up with brake fluid and we're gonna run a lot of brake fluid through the rear lines to make sure that we clean up even whatever is inside the calipers. And then we're gonna do the same with the front ones. We're gonna flush it. We're gonna make sure that we get rid of the old brake fluid, and we're gonna use new one inside. There's someone, Graham, who keeps asking me to send my calipers from the GT6 and these for him to rebuild them because he owns a company that does that, and it's too far away. That's the problem. So thank you, Graham, for all the times you've been offering, but I think we're gonna just clean up these calipers and we're gonna reuse them. Well, we're gonna test them, of course. We'll see if they move freely and all that. But I know that they work well with the e-brake, so they should be good. But yeah, I'll put the name of the company here, so if you need your calipers rebuilt professionally, you can send them to Graham. Okay, we vacuumed everything with my vacuum pump from there. Then we pour some new brake fluid, and with a little brush I went and I just wiped the walls and everywhere to make sure that it is nice and clean. And then we vacuumed it again, and now we're ready to fill it up and start bleeding. Okay, it's all filled up. I overfilled it because we're gonna lose a lot now when we start bleeding. And now we're gonna start with the longest line, which is in this case the rear left wheel, because the line goes all the way there, then it goes there, it splits in two, and we have just a short piece of the flexible line that goes to the rear right wheel, but then from there it comes all the way here, right? So this is the longest line. So once we bleed this line, we will know that the entire line is air free except the short extension down there. So we're gonna go back there and we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do it one more time. That's what I always do. I bleed from the longest to the shortest, and then I repeat it one more time to make sure that there's no air. So let's see if it is gonna start coming just by gravity for now, like that. If it doesn't start coming on its own, we can always start sucking with the vacuum pump, and maybe we can do one round with the vacuum pump and then the second round with the pedal inside. Now there's lots of air in the system, so eventually it's gonna start coming. Can you take a look and see if the reservoir is going down the level? Because if it is...
No, it's still high. It's still...
not moving. So let's suck a little bit. Now it's gonna start coming down. That's the old fluid that was inside the master, inside the caliper, and now a lot of air should come out. So now we have to make sure that it doesn't suck air from here. Okay, didn't go down too much. Now it is coming by gravity, you see? So we can bleed the brakes even this way, you see? When we see only fluid start coming without air, that means that we are air free. Which I think we are now. Well, let's do the other side as well, and then we're gonna do it with the pedal. Where's my wrench? So this is what I'm talking about. Now that we bled the other wheel, we know that this line that comes from the master cylinder and this line are air free. So if we have any air trapped in the system still, it must be here in this line. Of course, air is lighter than the brake fluid, so it's possible that it climbed up here again if there was air here. So that's why we're gonna go for a second round. We're gonna bleed this here now first to make sure that there's no air in this end as well, and then we're gonna go and bleed again the other side with the pedal, and then we're gonna come back and do this one more time with the pedal, and that's it. So now, because this is such a short distance, as soon as I open it, it should start on its own. Where's my wrench? This one. Wait, it's not coming. There you go. It's coming now. And it's nice and dirty. So you know what? I'm gonna suck with the pump, because this way, I don't know, we are filling the cylinder through the bottom, I'm hoping. And this comes from the top, so we're gonna flush it, but I'm gonna vacuum it just to make sure that it comes on a faster pace. Now let's do it with the pedal. Before we do that though, we're gonna top up the master cylinder. I mean, it's not too low, but better to be safe than sorry. So I always do it this way. I point the hose up, so I create a pool of fluid, and this way I can easily see if any air is coming out. If I point it this way, everything that comes out goes right down the hose, and I'm not gonna be able to see if there's air mixed with the fluid. So Nicole is in the car. He's gonna pump on the brakes now. Pump. He's gonna pump 3 times, and then he's gonna hold. Okay, holding.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna open gently.
Yeah, now it got soft.
And some air came out. So see, we still had some air trapped. Okay, pump. Let's see now if air is gonna come. Yeah, a little bit more air, you could hear it. One more time. Now just maybe a little bit more air came out. Pump. Still air is coming. Okay. Pump. Now it is clean. Okay, one more time for insurance. Go. Okay. I think now we are good. Let go. Now we're gonna go and do the same on the other side. Okay, let's see what's gonna come out of this one. Pump, Nick. More dirty fluid came, but no air. Pump. Yeah, no air. One more time. Yeah, nice and clean here. Okay, let go. That's it. The rear brakes are bled now, and that's not a real test, but are you holding the brakes now? No. Oh, it's in. Can you put it in neutral? Okay. Can you press the brakes? Yeah. They're moving a little bit. So of course we're gonna take out the calipers and we're gonna clean the stems here because it needs to move, and we have new brake pads, so we're gonna replace those. We're gonna lubricate everything, make sure that the caliper operates properly. We're gonna do that next. First we're gonna go and bleed the front brakes. So I just want to make sure that we get rid of all the old fluid inside the system and we have a new fluid everywhere. Now for the front brakes, doesn't really matter which wheel we start with because they are on different lines. So the interesting part here is that only this line goes through the pressure differential warning assembly, and this one doesn't, but it doesn't really matter because if this one loses pressure, this one is going to lose pressure too. So now here it would be nice if we take out the bleeders again and clean them properly too, but that's gonna make a mess here. So I'm just gonna wire wheel it around before I start working. Like this. Okay, let's see now. Pump nick. Wow. Maybe I should have loosened it first. Okay, let go. I didn't loosen it. Wow, that's tight. Okay, I need my other hand better. We don't want to snap it, because then we're gonna have troubles. Okay, I'm gonna turn you off. And of course, as soon as I turn off the camera, it starts moving. So it looks like I'm gonna have to actually take it out. Maybe not completely, but at least a little bit more so I can clean the threads now. Interesting that it's not leaking. Yeah, anyway. I know you've seen the procedure already. I just want to see together with you what kind of fluid is going to come out. Okay, Nick, pump. No fluid. What's going on? Did the pedal go down?
No, it stayed still.
So we need to loosen more. Well, looks like we're gonna have to take the whole bleeder out. Okay, hold it. I want to see when it's gonna do something, or if it is gonna do something. We might have a problem with these brake lines as well. Either the flex hose or still holding, right?
Yeah.
Well, we don't need to press way too hard. So looks like the bleeder is seized. Okay, let go of the pedal because there's gonna be a lot of pressure. Yeah, now it's coming on its own. So our bleeder is probably corroded inside. You know what, I'm just gonna let it drip. I'm gonna put something down there and let it drip while I clean the bleeder. We're gonna lose that anyways. Look at that. It is totally filled with something, the little hole. Wow, what is this? Oh my god. Oh, there you go. So now I can see my drill bit here. Good. Let's go use it properly now. Oh wow, we dripped a lot. So let's close it before we suck air through the master cylinder. Oh yeah, we lost a lot, which is good. We basically flushed it by gravity. And you know what, before we start with the bleeding with the pedal process, we should actually do the same here and then bleed the brakes properly. This one actually started coming out right away, so we don't need to take it out. I'm just gonna wire wheel it the same way and then we're gonna bleed them. Okay, so now we are on this side and we're ready finally to properly bleed the brakes. Not bleed them, flush them, because we're not expecting to have any air in the front system. but this one flushed itself already, so I don't think I'm gonna see dirty brake fluid, but let's just check. Now it should be coming by gravity feed. It's either coming real slow or not coming at all, and that's the problematic bleeder. So let's do it with the pedal. Okay, Nick, pump. Oh, it's coming actually. Okay. Oh, so it's still dirty fluids. Okay, pump. Pump. Okay. Pretty clean fluid here, but let's do it one more time. Okay. I think we're done with this side. We're gonna do the same with the other one, but now I'm curious to see how much, what kind of fluid is gonna come out of there. There you go, it's coming now. It's not too dirty, but let's do it with the pedal, because now this might be just from the top of the cylinder. Whatever comes in goes out, you know. So pump, Nick. It's not too bad. Actually, some air came out. Pump. Yeah, it was just a bubble. Pump. Let go. Okay, that's it. Congratulations, Nick. You have brakes.
Now I can
So-
stop.
Now you can stop. We just need to make you start. Anyway, we're done with the brake system, with the brake lines, but I still want to take the calipers out and clean them. We're just gonna hang them here, but we want to clean the bores, like I said, and lubricate everything, change the pads, make sure that the discs are good. I know they look bad, they're rusty, but they're nice and smooth. There's no ridges, there's no grooves or anything, so they're gonna polish once we put the new brakes and he starts driving. So good. We have to go to Nick's karting, because he is a karting racer now, first season. But tomorrow we're gonna continue, and maybe we're gonna do the calipers, and maybe we can start taking suspension apart and cleaning and changing bushings and ball joints and all that, because we have to change all that. We have all the parts. But anyways, let's see if we're gonna have enough room in this video for the calipers or not. All right, so we made a lot more progress actually than what we're showing here in this video, but it is becoming way too long, so we decided to end the video here, and then the progress that we made after that we're gonna show you in the next one. So Nick is picking up some new skills, brake lines and stuff like that. So yeah, it's fun. Is it fun?
Yeah, it's better than patching rust.
Patching rust. Yeah, welding rusty holes. I know, but sometimes I miss that part. I miss fabricating stuff and welding, and then when it becomes way too much, I'm like, okay, I need some engine work or something else. And then when I have way too much engine work, I'm again, I want some welding. Like, just, I don't need to think in thousandths of inches. I can think in eighths of an inch or something like that. Anyways, guys, let's end it here. And as usual, thank you for watching, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and supporting us on Patreon and via PayPal, and by sending us parts and tools and cars and everything. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.